Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden. Welcome to Subconscious Dialogues. As soon as I got done with that clip, my last video, I saw a meme on Facebook and just went, ah. So I'm going to show it to you. So this is what I used to be able to do. And I lost the ability. I didn't lose the ability, but I can't do it anymore. I used to be able to do that. I was really good at it. That's my problem. I lost it. This whole thing has been me trying to get that back. But I don't know what to call that. There is potential, and there's actualized potential. And I have to have 100% of my potential realized. I'm one of those persons. You know that feeling when you know that you're better than what you actually are? That feeling like you are not meeting your potential. Some people quit on the potential pursuit. Let's call it that. The pursuit of potential. You have potential, but then there's the actuality, and you are pursuing the actualization of your potential. It is the pursuit of actualized potential. And that's what this is. That's what all of this is. That's what authenticity is. It is the thing that we're trying to get to, actualizing our full potential. But you can't get there if you have fear. You can't get there if you're hesitant. You can't get there if you have self-doubt. You can't get there until and unless. And we all have this need to realize and actualize our full potential. The thing is, with me, it drives me crazy. It drives me fucking nuts. And here's the flip side of all of this. My potential is in the area, is in this mental space where I was abused every time I approached it. But more than that, I loved a lot of people a year ago, 2 years ago. And I was hurt and afraid. And so I took in a lot of people who I cared about. And I thought I had found my home. I thought I had found my community. I thought I had found my people and my kin and my clan. Only to find out that they walked and they talked like me, but they were using my world as an escape to their problems. So they weren't in my world authentically. They were in my world because they were literally trying to avoid and run away instead of dealing with their problems. So they were all on drugs. Literally, they were all on drugs. They walked, talked, moved like me, except I was dealing with my shit and they weren't. They had to be on drugs and I didn't. And I thought I had found my kin. So I took them into my home and I allowed them access to me, only to find out that the whole thing was another masquerade ball. And then when I tried to dip my toes back into that world, not realizing that it was a masquerade ball, they hurt me and used me even more. And I'm just going, I fell back. I pulled back. I had one particular person say, "Oh my God, I hope she does not lose her light." The last time I had my full light was in 2020. And I want it back. And I heard things back then that were so horrific. I lost my faith in humanity. And then I had 2 years where I just and I'm healed. And I'm going, all right, I'm ready to open up my light and free it. I'm ready to come out now. And it wants to come out. So let's talk about the psychology of sunlight. Internal joy. What was my psychology back then? I was free. I was fearless. I trusted everybody. I loved everybody. Everything was an adventure. Everything was exciting. I have an ability to make people feel psychologically safe. So they tell me everything. Strangers have poured their hearts out to me. And I was so happy to just be free. And I ran out. I attracted everybody with my sunlight. Everybody wanted me. I would have 3 to 7 dates a week. And every one of them would be completely enamored by my energy and sunlight. And they just wanted a fraction of it. I was very good at weeding out bad people. And I also had very low standards. I ended up attracting 3 people who felt comfortable enough to tell me things I don't want to know or hear. They did not give me enough information to report what they told me. And it left me so insane. And I just couldn't deal with it. They told me that is when I stopped trusting people. And that's when I stopped wanting people near me. It's when I attracted those 3. And then people started attracting again to me and coming to me. And I noticed the people that were coming to me were all broken and mentally ill, drug addicts. And they would tell me their stories. So I put up walls. I withdrew. They told me things about themselves. I didn't ask. I didn't have to. I never did. They just felt comfortable with me, so they opened up and they told me shit. And I managed to pull away. My partner would go back to these events with me, and I'd be like, I don't want to go. I could see people. Before they even told me their shit, I could see people. That's how I got good at reading people before they talked. That is how I got good at it. Because I wanted to stay clear of those people before they opened their mouths. Once I got to that point where I could navigate a room, talk to people, hear what they have to say, find out their truth, I saw all the truths and I'm like, I don't want to hear any more of this. And I stopped believing in mankind. I stopped believing in humanity. And my sunlight went away. So I have a toxic belief now inside of me that I can't get rid of. That there is good in this world. I don't believe it anymore. I don't believe it. I don't believe. I need to challenge the belief. I know how to do that. I know exactly how to do that. I don't believe people want to get better. I believe that people value their lies and their bullshit more than they value truth. I don't believe anyone really wants to get better. Because I can see all the bullshit. I can see all of the avoidant tactics that people use. I can see all of the work that people do to avoid getting better. The denial, the avoidance, the lies, the bullshit, the masks. I want this and I want this, but I don't want this with the work I have to do, so I'm going to stay this, but I want to get better. No, you don't. No, you don't. I know what wanting to get better looks like, and I have not seen it in a very long time. People don't hate their current lives enough. Bottom line, that's it. People do not hate their current situation enough. People do not hate their abuse more than they love themselves. No one wants to get better. They value their abuse. The question I have been asking is why? They value their abuse because it's easier. That's all. So I don't believe anyone really wants to get better. I believe that people are really good at bullshitting themselves. So I lost faith in the human mind. lost faith in humanity. And I haven't had any sunlight since. All the people who told me that they wanted to heal don't. All the people who tell me that they can and have, they call me up later and they tell me how their lives are not going okay. And I'm going, half of them are the abusers. And I just don't believe it anymore. So I push through all of the work I do because I believe that once this changes in me, why can't I change this? Yeah, that's what this comes down to. I have this toxic belief inside of me. Question is it toxic? There's no emotion attached to it. And about a month ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago, I started to believe that I am not the only one because statistics say so. So there's a lot of people who just want to feel good, but who don't actually want to heal. And I was attracting a lot of people who wanted to feel good without healing. Well, we call that addiction. We call that addiction. Healing is problem solving. You have people who project, people who internalize, and people who problem solve. We all are pursuing control, but control is funny. Control cannot be obtained. It is a consequence. You have to have authority to get control. And people do not do the work to get authority. So they don't have control. So they use projecting or internalizing to feel the control. So they feel good without doing the healing. And then they project and they internalize as a means to feel good without doing the healing. No one problem solves. To problem solve, you would actually get authority, and then you would have power, and then you would have control. So do people want to get better? Are they not getting better because they don't know how? Or are they getting better because they really don't want to? That's what I can't figure out. That's what I can't figure out. So let's assume that you do want to get better and you just don't know how. What would you do if you did know how? What would be stopping you then? I don't know. I've talked to many people. I've had people laugh in my face when I talk to them about healing. They really don't believe they can be healed. I've had my own partner look at me and say, I don't believe I can be healed. They don't believe it. So you don't even try because you don't believe it. You don't believe you can be healed. Hope. You can be healed. Hope. Let me tell you my story. I am impossible. They told me that I could not be healed. They told me I was incurable. They told me I would be on medication my whole life. They told me that without medication I would be unstable. I swear they were trying to convince me that I could not be healed. They were wrong. They were absolutely wrong. You can be healed. You just need to know the way out of the subconscious mind. You need to know how it works. You have to understand where mental illness comes from. Today feels so different and it feels so weird, and I just can't. I'm going to pretend I need to talk about imagination. So we're going to do it this way. I have a toxic belief that I'm the only one. That people either don't know how to heal, they don't want to heal, or they don't believe they can be healed. So, whatever I believe, slow. Whatever I believe is going to determine my mindset. Now, beliefs come from what we hear. Beliefs come from what we say. And beliefs come from what we think. But beliefs can be overridden by one more thing. Make believe. We talk about a belief system. We talk about toxic beliefs. But nobody is talking about make believe. Imagination. Think about it. We lose hope when we lose make believe. When we're children and we stop pretending. Pretending. Pretending is the art of putting a joyous belief on top of a perceived belief. You have perceived beliefs, but that leaves you incapable of changing it. That assumes no change. A toxic belief alters it so you see only the negative, but make believe shows you the positive. Now here's the funny part. Society, concrete thinkers, tell us that we have to only live by the perceived belief and we can't change it. Toxic beliefs are allowed. They're negative, but they're allowed. And the positive beliefs are shamed, likened to the stuff of children, and thrown away. Why? If we can have perceived beliefs, internal beliefs, and toxic beliefs, then why can't we make believe? At the end of the day, this is just mindset. And I wrote to somebody today, why do the concrete thinkers get to choose the mindset for all of us? Why do they get to decide? Why do they get to determine what reality is going to be the ultimate reality for all of us? More importantly, why would they choose this shitty reality when we can choose any reality we want? Why do I have to go along with their reality? So if reality is totally subjective and dependent upon a belief system, and my options are an internal belief system, a perceived belief system, and a toxic belief syndrome, or a make-believe system, why would I go with the perceived reality, the internal reality, or the negative one when I can choose the fun one? So, make believe completely alters your mindset into something else that you want. All you have to do, according to the laws of manifestation, is say it. According to positive affirmations and every holistic resource out there, all you have to do is cultivate your mindset. And if this is just mindset, then why not cherry pick it into whatever it is you want? Because what we're really arguing over about this is what is the perceived reality? What is the reality? And if reality is truth, then why not just choose the one you want? Because it isn't the real one? The real one can't be changed. People think that pain comes from the outside. People think that emotional pain comes from catalysts on the outside. They're wrong. Pain comes from your perspective on the inside. If your partner breaks up with you and it was a perceived bad relationship, you're joyous. If your partner breaks up with you and it was a perceived good relationship, you're not joyous, you're grieving. The pain did not come from the breakup. Otherwise, all pains from all breakups would be equal. Therefore, the pain is coming from your perspective of, and that you can change. So if you can change your perspective, then why not change it into something that's nice and pleasant? Why are positive and pleasant perspectives, make-believe, designated for children only? Why do adults have to be old and tired and miserable and pay taxes, and children supposedly get to play and have fun? Why? I want my sunlight back. So I'm going to pretend I have my sunlight back. Now, when I had my sunlight, I loved people. When I had my sunlight, I believed in people. I believed in the good of all people. I believed that everybody was having a great time. I need a new belief. I need a new belief. The new belief will get me my sunlight back. God, why is it so hard to access? I need my energy unlocked. And that's all this is me freeing this energy inside of me. And my energy is, I had fear. I was fearless back then. I had no fear. I was fucking stupid with half of the shit I did. And I had no fear. And I was fine and I was safe. I didn't have a single problem. Money literally flowed into my lap. I was the epitome of abundance. So to take my sunlight out of me and to put my energy back out there, I need to stop holding back my energy. I need to open up my energy and give you my energy. It was when I started to study the chakras. It was during my Reiki studies. And one of the rules and laws is you do not touch another person's energy without their consent. Now, I have a problem with this. Ooh, I'm right down to the core of it now. I can feel it. It became unethical. No touching of the energy without consent. Now there's a problem with that. There is an assumption there that people own the energy. No, we do not own the energy. We are borrowing the energy. The energy belongs to us all. This is no different than saying, this is my air. Don't touch my air without my consent. What are you doing? What are you doing? You can say that about your physical body, but you cannot say that about when you are doing stuff like that. You are talking about self-accountability. It's the understanding that your actions affect others. And if you know that your actions have a direct effect on others, it is simple accountability and respect for others. You cannot own energy, you cannot own earth, and you cannot own oxygen. Bottom line. This is a lack of accountability. So people project or internalize the lack of accountability onto others. You cannot hold somebody responsible who will not hold himself responsible. You cannot hold somebody accountable who will not hold themselves accountable. You cannot govern a person who will not govern themselves. Self-government, self-responsibility, and self-accountability cannot be forced. They have to be abandoned. Bottom line. If someone refuses to self-govern, if someone refuses to be responsible, and if someone refuses to be accountable, you have to leave them alone. You cannot do it for them. They have to learn these lessons on their own. And when people try and force accountability and responsibility and government onto other people, that problems result. You can't do it. Energy cannot be owned. And you need to be self-accountable for how your energy affects other people. Somebody said, if you intend goodness, you can do no harm with energy. Then why are we asking for consent? Because we are assuming that they own the energy, but the energy is not owned by anybody. It belongs to all of us. We are connected. That consent law actually violates and contradicts the entire concept of what the energy is. There. I closed off the last of my energy when I started studying Reiki healing. Because one man who created this concept about 150 years ago made up this rule. And I'm looking at it going, there was a woman at the bar. She loved my energy. I was open that night. My energy was all over the place. My sunshine energy was everywhere. I walked into the bar and this man saw me and he backed up and went, "Oh my God." And I heard this person say next to me, "She's just really in tune with the energy." I asked if I could hug him. He said yes. I hugged him and he cried on my shoulders. I do that a lot. And then I went downstairs. This is after I was slipped the whiskey. I get downstairs. I drank the whiskey. There was a roofie in it. I get downstairs and it was like in between where it was, they carried me downstairs and I was definitely like out there. And there was this woman there. We hugged. Well, I asked her again. She absolutely loved my energy. It was just her and I hugged her. And she just, wow, thank you. And she started to walk away. We were about 4 feet away when this blast of energy went out over my head. It was so strong that it knocked us both down. And she stood up and she looked at me and I looked at her like, "What the fuck was that?" And she goes, "I don't know. What the fuck was that?" And I said, "I don't know." And then she just looked at me terrified and said, "What did you do?" She was hysterical. People came downstairs and like 4 to 6 people escorted her away. And that is when the roofie really started to hit and things just, I don't remember much after that. What I remember, I wrote and I explained it to people as I remember it. And that is the area where I was raped. And then I was more focused on that than what happened with the energy that night. And I'm just looking at it going, what the fuck happened? And when I talk to people, no one can tell me what they know. No one knows what that was. I talked to a fucking neuroscientist and he was not able to explain it. So I have been terrified to use my energy ever since. And I shut it all down. All of it. I literally just, so it's all contained inside of me. And I'm tired of holding it inside. Because it feels dampened. And sometimes, especially every time I'm on stage, I can feel it just, I want to come out. I want to come out. I want to come out. And I'm going, I'm trying, but I'm scared. I am very scared of that coming back out again because I don't know what that was. And I've got this stupid Reiki rule in my head going, "Oh, you need consent." The energy belongs to everyone. It is everyone. What do you mean consent? Like, the energy is feelings. That's all it is. It's just pure emotion. It's pure feelings. It's feelings. When I shut it down, it's dissociation. I've dissociated. That's what it is. And I know I have. Because that's the only way you can shut down energy, because energy is literally pure feelings. It is made up of feelings. And some dipshit came along and said, "Oh, yeah, you need to consent to touch people's feelings." No. as somebody who knows consent laws, no. So what am I worried about? What am I afraid about? I can control this now. I never hug anyone without asking consent. That's one of my rules. And then I have people going, oh my God, I love your energy. And I'm like, it's muted. Just wait. I'm trying to open it back up, and I need to stop disassociating, and I need to stop hiding. So maybe I should just do some meditations where all I do is focus on bringing out the energy and letting my feelings flow again. And I know what this is. This is partly because my children are around me almost all the time. And I am muting myself because I'm being seen. And I'm going, okay, I can't. Yeah, I'm holding myself back. And I'm just tired of holding myself back. I'm censoring myself. That's what it is. I am censoring myself. Because they tell me shit, like I'm loud. There it is. All right. And that's the same shit I used to hear when I was a kid. There is a song from a movie I love called Big and Loud. And my sister would always say that to me. I was too intense, I'm too dramatic, and I'm too loud. So my sister shut me up, my girlfriend shut me up, my mother shut me up. And now my children are shutting me up. And it's a problem that I have. So I am intense. Maybe I'll just put a disclosure in the videos from now on. I am intense. I have high energy. Let's just do this. Because I'm really tired of holding this back. And I need to practice getting this out. And I am tired. And I'm going to do videos for the next few days of just practicing getting this out. I can feel the war with my subconscious mind just pulling at it. I'm going this way and my subconscious mind is going, no, no, I worked so hard to put that in place. The conversations I have with my subconscious mind, it's like, there's me, just me. And I've got this internal shit happening. We all do. And it's just the subconscious mind. No, I work so hard. And I'm going, I don't want this in me anymore. What's it going to take to get it out of me? And the fear system is like, I'm afraid. I don't want it out. It's not safe to come out. It's not safe to come out. You got to stay in. It's not safe to come out. And identity is just like, yeah, identity is all over the place. And she's like, she's got ADHD inside of me, and she's hopping back and forth. And she's like, I'm ready to come out. And I've got this war going on between, yeah, and I've got intuition over there, just very, she's like this coach that just sits there and cheers me on, and just from the sideline, she's the peanut gallery. Get out, tell the story, tell the story, tell your story. And I'm like, I'm getting there, because right now I'm really tired of fighting my subconscious mind. So soothe the fear system, reassure the fear system that it's going to be okay, that it's all right. She can come out now. And this fear system is just panicking, hitting buttons all over my head, going, no, I've worked so hard. You got to keep it safe. It's not safe. It's not safe. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? My kids aren't going to love me. Yeah. There it is. My oldest already hates me. Oh, why does it have to come down to my kids? It's not fair. It's not fair. I can handle my parents hating me. I can handle my partners hating me. I can handle no friends. I can't handle my children hating me. Now that I cannot handle. Why? Why? This doesn't make any sense, and it contradicts everything that I was taught. Parents are proud of you. Parents are never proud of you. I can easily go, yep, my father was never proud of me. That's fine. They never tell you that you want your children to be proud of you. Why don't they talk about this? No one ever talks about this. That we're not. My daughter says, kids like everyone. Why aren't we talking about this? Am I the only mother who feels this way? Do parents want our children to be proud of us? What is this feeling? Do you have any idea how many psychology books I have fucking studied? Not once! Dr. Spock never talked about this. By the way, your children are going to be proud of you. But we never talk about how the parent feels about wanting our children to be proud of us. Never do we talk of this. Why not? We all hate our parents. We all know they're losers. We all know they suck. But we never really flip it and think, well, what if my child hates me? We never talk about that. And I've already got one that does not talk to me unless she needs something. And there's like nothing out there for this. Why do I need my children's approval? This is deep shit. And it's like, I can throw myself out on stage and I can be what I am. And my sister with her stupid, you're so intense, you're so loud, you're so dramatic. It was the intensity. They literally bitched and complained about my energy. Oh my God, I forgot about that. I didn't understand it. I had such strong energy. I've always had strong energy. I just connected A to B. I finally connected A to B. My sister felt my energy and she didn't know the words for it. She would just be like, it's too much. Oh. And my best friend for 17 years complained about my energy being too intense. And my partner started to say it. And then I've got people, strangers going, oh my God, I love your energy. Other people going, oh my God, it's too much. And that day that I used it to shake the entire room, and I'm like, and I'm going, there's no science for this. There's no words for it. There's no nothing for this. And then I've got all these dipshits telling me that I'm crazy. And I'm going, there's something here. It's the emotion of a parent wanting the approval of their children. What the fuck is this emotion? We don't even have a word for it. We have parental, parentification. We don't even have the reverse. The word doesn't exist. Parentification is when a parent parentifies or turns a child into a parent. It's horribly toxic. Parentifying is another one. Same thing. It's just a different conjugation. Parentified, your parents parentified you, turned you into the parent. But think about it. We have the word child, but a child is not an actual status. We have daughter and son, but it doesn't tell us anything. That just tells us the gender. A daughter, a son. This word does not exist. Offspring, that is probably as close as we have. Because every one of us is this thing, but not everyone is a parent. Adult children. Child just tells us the age group. A parent is defined by a person with children. But what is a child called who has parents? The word doesn't exist. It needs to exist. A child, no, let's change it. A person with parents. We have orphan, a person without parents. Child only means this is the age. Child does not mean a person with parents. You can be a child and be orphaned. An orphaned child. What? There's no word. Fascinating. There is no word that indicates that this child is a blank to a parent. It's amazing. It's just a default setting. Oh, well, we know all children have parents. That's how they're here. So we just aren't going to name this thing. Adult is the opposite of child. That is just talking about age, not relationship. So we need a word, X, a person with parents. That way I can say, I want my ex to be proud of me. Like this opens up a whole nother, let's flip the perspective around. I want to be someone my children would be proud of. And so far, I've got one of three that's not. And I'm going, okay. And, and it's like this thing where if you fail at parenting, your children disown you. And that's the ultimate test. You failed out at parenting, your children disown you. You fail out at parenting, your children become serial killers. How successful you are as a parent is determined on the success of your child. And none of that really matters to the parent so long as, do they accept me? Do they approve of me? And it's like that one thing I can't handle. I can handle my parents hating me, fine. I can handle partners, lovers hating me, best friends, fine. I can't handle my kids hating me. That's like, it's the one thing I cannot fail at. So I hide it all in. I hear their disapproval and I just, boy, it's a whole nother level of self-failure. It's amazing. So I hide back and hold back on my energy because I can feel it. And I know so many people have a problem with it. And it's just amazing. I'll meet strangers and they'll be like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, just wait. It's muted right now. I'm going to get it out of here one of these days. And I just can't, I can get it out. I got to get it out. And the only reason why it's inside of me hiding is because I'm afraid. That's all this is. It is literally my energy versus fear. Fear hides my energy. So I need to get rid of this particular fear, the fear of judgment. The fear of judgment. Rejection. Nope, there we go again. Nope, it's not the fear of judgment. It's the fear of rejection. Fear of rejection goes back to survival. Survival. I need to not give a shit if my kids love me or not. That's really what it comes down to. And the thing is, of all the people in my life, they're the ones who watched the change the most. They're the ones who were there when they were born, and they watched me go from type mother A to type mother B to dealing with all of my bullshit to getting married to getting divorced to getting married to getting divorced to I have a boyfriend. I dumped that boyfriend. I have another boyfriend. He dumped me. And the kids watch all of this. I'm building a garden. I'm moving to New York, and the kids are just dragged along for the ride. So I'm doing life. And then I've got my dumbass younger brother going, your parenting skills are this. You're not even a parent. And I'm closing that door. He is so second perspective. I'm closing that door. And I'm going, okay, my family has ostracized me because they don't agree with my parenting style, because I was not a codependent, self-sacrificial, completely turned my existence into a parasitic existence with my symbiotic relationship with my children. Because I refused to do that, I was ostracized. Don't care, closing the door on that. So here I am now. The children have been there with me through all of it. I go through boyfriends or lovers or husbands, and my children are the constant. Except my oldest is no longer here. And I'm going, wow, the one thing I was expecting to be constant now isn't, and I've got 2 left. Why are we never talking about the expectations and the hopes and I really hope my children love me? Why do I need their approval? Why do I need their approval? I did this with my father. I don't need my father's approval. I don't need my mother's approval. They've never had their approval. I'm never going to get that. So, I went through this with them. So why do we need our children's approval? Because we don't want to be alone. Because we seek community. And instead of me going out and building my own community, I'm using my children to enforce my community. Wow, that's an ugly me being honest with myself. All right, let's do this some more. That's right, I'm using my children. Sorry. Honest. Apparently, I've been using you to be my community. Maybe I am more codependent than I thought. It doesn't feel like codependency, though. Need. I don't like the word need. Why do I need my children to like me? Because I love them. All right. So there it is. I'm just going to be me. And I'm just going to, this is a good example. I'm going to do my acting shit in front of her and que sera. Lizzie, if you don't like my energy, you're going to have to leave the room. Bottom line. And my children are not at all abusive. They're not passive. They're very solid with being assertive, but for the most part, they're very passive to assertive. There's a lot of me working with them you need to speak your mind. You need to open up. You need to assert yourself. Just focusing now on energy, Breathe with me. Deep breath in. I'm going to take up whatever time I want to take. And I am going to go slow. I will not be rushed. I will not be told what to do. I will go where I want and I will do as I please. Self-freedom is one of the hardest things to obtain. This is why we need so much time alone. Because when we're alone, we get to confront shit like this and take that time for ourselves. So I will speak to Discipulus. 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 And Discipulus, like me, will have an open mind. I might start every one of my sessions with meditation because I need to imagine and make believe. I need to get into the mindset. And in order to get into the right mindset, I need to meditate. The right mindset doesn't just happen in most cases. You have to summon it. You have to with my stage, I would combine all of the elements of me into one place so that I would no longer have shifting perspectives. I would no longer have subconscious dialogues. I would have the adventures of me. And it would be the retelling of whatever it is I need to talk about in my space. And I would not think on marketing. I would assume exactly like I did with my books. Creativity mindset. Oh, wow. Creativity mindset has only one agenda. For the story. And story is self. I am not doing this for you anymore. That was what was wrong. There it is. There it is. I feel it. I feel it. I am not going to do this for you anymore. That's how all of my books were different. Everything in my podcast up to this particular point was for you. And that was my problem. What the fuck am I doing? I know better. This has to be for me. I wrote it in broken. This one is for me because it has to be. Why was I ever making it for you? This isn't for you. Creativity is never for you. Whenever you create something, it has to be for you. Whenever I create something, it has to be for me. I made my creation about you. That is the problem. I was thinking about what you would like, how this would sell, how this would go, what people want to hear. I never wrote my books like that. I told my story. I told my story. And I did it for me. Because it's not about you. If you want it to be about you, you need to go get on your podcast and tell your story. No, this space is my space and it's for me. You are a guest in my space. And I was instead treating you like I was your servant. There's the mindset correction. There it is. Oh, this feels good. And this feels right. There it is. Click, 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 click. Oh my God, I love this shit. There it is. When you have a business, it's artwork. The rule number one of artwork, you got to make it about you. It's not about what you can do for the people. That's righteous, pompous shit. No. 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 I do not do righteous, pompous shit. That's patriarchy rhetoric. Close the door. No. Ayn Rand was right. Always go by Ayn Rand. When and what would Ayn do? I just need to, what would Rand do? That needs to become my default. What would she? Well, she would do it all about the self. You have to do it about the self. This is about the self because only one truth matters, and that is the first person perspective. That's the only thing that matters. And because this is my perspective, it has to be about me. All right. Flipping the stage around. You are a guest in my stage. Hello, Discipulus. This is about me now. There you go. Whenever you create anything, artwork, paintings, drawings, books, music, creation is 100% for the self. God did not create man for man. He did it for himself. He was so greedy and selfish. Every creation is done for the artist. This is my art. I'm not doing it for you anymore. I cannot. That literally is the death sentence of art. There it is. It's the death sentence of art. It has to come from the self. The entire time that I was in New York City doing my own research, I was doing that for me. That's why I was on walkabout. That's why I wasn't blogging. Because I needed to be alone with my discoveries. No, I should never have made it about you. That's the point. I never wrote a single word in my books thinking, what if somebody doesn't love this? I wasn't writing it for you. I was writing it for me. Why is this any different? It's artwork. This is artwork. Imagination and creation. So I would stop having multiple playlists right away. That would be the first thing I'd change. Because it's all me. It's all me. You're here for my journey. I really don't care why you're here. I am here for me. Imagination is the ultimate self-love. It is the ultimate celebration of self-love. That is what imagination and creation is. I have the perspective of the material. I have my perspective of the self. And I have the perspective of the abstract. My interpretation of material. My interpretation of the self. And my interpretation of the abstract. That is imagination, identity, and relativity. There it is. And you don't have to participate in it at all. This is fascinating. Oh no, Lizzie, I'm totally down with you being, she's playing Sims. And she just left the room because she's like dying of laughter. And I looked up to see what she's laughing about. And she is laughing because she has turned her vampire sim into the abominable snowman. So the abominable snowman is going, and it's hilarious because the abominable snowman is moving like a vampire. And she's being very respectful. And she's like, she's recording, I have to go. And I'm like, oh no, this is funny. Yeah, it's like, I'm loving these Dracula, not even Dracula. It's like 1920s silent film Dracula movements with an abominable snowman suit. Put him in a Yoda costume and watch him act like a vampire then. That'll be hilarious. So you could do that in Sims too. Put him in a Yoda outfit or a Princess Leia outfit and watch Princess Leia behave like a vampire. So Sims is so much fun. The gnome. All right. This is definitely, I'm getting here. I'm getting here. Yeah, it comes back to that selfishness and that self-loathing. All right. You know, I watch other YouTubers and I watch them do some really amazing stuff. They have green screens and some of them will get on there and they'll be like all decked out in their translucent stuff. One of my favorites is, she's a seer and she does henna tattoos. And I see her all decked out and I'm like, stage and theater, theater and stage, creating whatever worlds I want. Why not? My son just cleared out the bedroom. Probably this week it'll be available so that I can start moving things into the bedroom, which means I'll be able to turn it into a full stage. And I feel like there's a stage before me. Like I'm only in this backstage rehearsing. Now we're speaking my language because it's my world. I feel like I've just been rehearsing a script this whole time. I feel like I've been in the back, pacing back and forth with the script, reciting, practicing, going into it, and then going, no, pulling back into my shell. And I can't take the stage until. Why am I so scared of the stage? Because the last time I showed someone what was in my head, they beat the fuck out of me until I forgot. That's why. I can do this. You can't hurt me. You can't hurt me. You won't hurt me. I can do this. I have an audience. I have an audience waiting. I can show you. I can show you. I can do this. If I pretend I don't want to be a public speaker, I want to be something else. I don't want to be a healer. I don't want to talk to you about healing. I don't want to talk to you. I want to entertain you. The world is a horrible place. I went to a show 2 years ago. And there was a woman who went on stage. It was a burlesque show. And I wanted to be her so badly. I didn't have the guts. Guts! Now you've got what it takes. Maybe that's what I need. I need my Munchkin card that says, guts! Now you've got what it takes. Then I'm going to be like, guts! Now I've got what it takes. She looks like a kindergartner teacher. She's building Sims over there. Guts! Now you've got what it takes. Why the hell can I be an exhibitionist and write out all the weird fucking shit that I write out and say, this is my insanity? Oh, I can show people my insanity long before I can show them. I just need to bring this out. Just bring it out. Just bring it out. Just bring it out. There's your sunshine. There's your sunshine. All right. All right. Give me some time. This is going to be like theater lessons, stage presence lessons. See, if you give me an actual stage and there's no audience, oh, I'm all over the place. Why is the camera so different? I can do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to psych myself up and then I'm just going to do it. And then I'm going to be like, oh, look at that. It's perfectly fine. Nothing happened to me. Let's do it again. You know what this is? This is exposure therapy 101. This is all this is exposure therapy. This is all this is. I'm talking about acting. I'm talking about all the shit that I've done. I've talked about all the things that I've seen, but I'm not showing. And in my last video, I went through all of the actors who I have influenced my style. It's hilarious because when people know me and I relax and that opens up and they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, yes. And then there is that moment where we'll be watching TV and they see Jim Carrey, Dick Van Dyke, Carol Burnett, and they'll just stop and they'll look at me like, you. Yeah. They influenced my style. What of it? Oh, yeah. And I'm like, come on, come out. I haven't been on the stage since 9/11. I was pursuing an acting career. I won award money during my graduation to pursue acting. I'd been on the stage since I was 4. I grew up on the stage while my father called me a whore. I went to so much theater. I had them dragging me to so many auditions. all I did was drama club alongside my piano, my dancing, my acting. I was working on my triple threat while they were beating me for it. And I wanted to get to New York. I was going to be an actress in New York City. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to do this. I got to understand it, though. The church did a play when I was 4. I loved it. We did like 5 plays that year. And that was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. And then we did this whole, what do you want to be when you grow up? An actress. And my father called me a whore. So I disguised it and said, I want to be a journalist. I didn't want to be a journalist. I wanted to be an actress. But Daddy disapproved, so I changed it. And then he tolerated it. Barely. And every time he took me to drama class. In the meantime, I was doing singing, I was doing ballet, and I was learning how to play the piano. And I was doing theater, and I wanted to go to New York City. I got my hands on a video camera 1 year. And I did this massive presentation where I danced in my room. And then I did plays in stages with my siblings. I forgot about this. I would stage theater performances with my siblings. And my father watched them and he told me I was selfish. He looked right at me and said, this is what I call selfish. I recorded over them immediately. He then went to show my grandparents the videos, boasting about how great it was. And I was so confused. He told me he hated them and he called me selfish. And then he's like, where's the videos you made? And I said, I erased them. I deleted them. He said, why? And I thought, you called me selfish. I forgot about all of this. My senior year of high school, I finally got the lead. Well, it was like the secondary or tertiary role in the play. It was the tertiary role in the play. And I stole the show. I was so home when I was on stage. And then one of my owners was putting me, oh my God, the abuse. So that every time I did a script reading, oh, it was vital. And then after 9/11, I just stopped. And I grew up hearing my mother tell me I was dramatic. And I wanted to scream at her, I'm dramatic because I've suppressed it all inside of me. Where do you think this is going to go? When you take the energy of theater and you cram it inside of somebody, where do you think it's going to go? It just flows out of you after a while. So you sing theater, you dance, you go to Broadway, and you seep it out just a little bit, and you spend your life siphoning it out, that energy. There's a lot of haters in theater. There's a lot of haters in theater. It is one of the most vile, ugly businesses. Artists are vile people. You write books and everyone's right there to tell you how shitty it is. And then when you try and defend your work, they sit there and tell you that you're insensitive and that if you can't take criticism, that you shouldn't be in the business. And then you get the book published the way you want it published. And you have people reading it and they're going, oh my God. And then you start to realize when you get away from the other writers, how beautiful your own work is. Acting is a lot like that. You put your work out there, you put your theater out there, and everyone's a fucking hater. The competition is cutthroat. So they tear you down and they abuse you. That was my weakness. That was my weak point. I could take any kind of an abuse. You criticized my art, though. You criticized my singing. You criticized my creativity. I couldn't handle it. I went anyway, and I kept going anyway. My best friends throughout high school ridiculed my singing. Everyone criticized something. Whenever I played the piano, my brother would play like he would smash my fingers in the keys. There was a lid that you could take down on it, and he would like threaten to smash my fingers. So every time I played piano, I had to be faster than my brother so that the keyboard thing would not come down and crush my fingers. Ironically, I had terror every time I practiced the piano. And then if I sang, that was like a whole nother level of hell. He would just beat the fuck out of me if I sang. So to this day, whenever I sing, that I'm still working on. And I'm just this leftover, regurgitated actress that wasn't allowed to be. So maybe I don't stand a chance on Broadway, and that's fine. No, that's not fine. That's the core of my grief. I never grieved the loss of the career I wanted. I forgot until now. I don't want the healing garden. I want my theater. That's my truth. Right there it is. I hate psychology. I did it to survive. I wanted to be in theater, and they took it away from me. This is effective shadow work, by the way. This is how it's supposed to be done. I was so fucking talented, and I was so fucking beautiful. I really could have done it. And they beat the fuck out of me until I couldn't. And I'm going, Well, why not? I'm in New York. And I'm a writer. I'm a script writer now. And I play Dungeons and Dragons because it's this little outlet, this little siphon that I can get out. And whenever I make believe, every time I make believe, I'm really taking the stage as one of my favorite characters. And then I see some of these people on YouTube and they're just coming on stage and they're doing their own thing. And I'm like, wow, they're in theater. I wish I was. But the thing is, I don't think I was supposed to. I don't think I was supposed to. I think I had something else that I needed to get done. My purpose is to turn my YouTube channel into a stage. And my purpose is to deliver script, theater, and a one-man show to you. Written, directed, acted, performed by me. That is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I am supposed to be so good at it, my message, that it gets the attention of public speaking. Because when you take that and you put it on the stage for public speaking, it becomes something different. And I call that an oral historian. I wasn't meant to be an actress. I was meant to bring bards back. I'm an oral historian. I'm not a coach. That's so fucking offensive to me. I'm an actress who would just be one more actress if I had not been beaten. If you try and learn something, you will learn it 400 times for repetition. But if you are learning it through play, then you only have to hear it 12 times. 400 or 12. That is the power of play. That is the power of make-believe. I'm going to say this one more time to you. Without make-believe, you have to repeat a story or a lesson 400 times. This is a scientific fact. But if you are in make-believe, you only have to do it 12 times. 12. Again. So what's my message? There it is. My message is power of imagination. That is my message. I believe that imagination is the cure to this world. Because imagination is what got me through mine. And imagination is what we all run to. All of us. That's why we have TV. That's why we have theater. That's why we have video games. That's why we have books. It's because we are craving imagination. You know, it's funny. When I started creating my own books, I didn't need to read the books of others. And when I composed my own music, I didn't value listening to the music of others. And when you tell your own story, you don't need to listen to the stories of others. We use the imagination of others as an emotional prosthetic. So this is for me, because it has to be. And if I can write and weave the worlds that I write and weave on paper, then why can't I write them in song? Why can't I put them on stage? I know what I am. It's time I show you who I really am. Yeah, I can do that. All right. I'll show you who I really am. I'm going to give you a command. You can follow it if you want. Like, subscribe, follow, comment below. Tell me what part of the show resonated with you. The show. How long have I been calling it a show? Why have I been calling it a show? Isn't it amazing how the subconscious mind works? Show. I want my show to be about the subconscious mind. It's time I talk to you about what life is like living with multiple personality disorder. My way. Oh, is this going to be fun? All right. I will tell you my story. All of it. I am done researching. I think it's time I tell my story. Go to Linktree. The link is below. Browse the city directory of Authenticity City. I have 4 pillars. Heal, play, learn, imagine. Now, once upon a time, teachers were actors. And we have forgotten this. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle.
Aristotle, that was a big one.
And Christ. Once upon a time, teachers were actors. That's what I've been trying to tell you. Oh, God. That's been stuck in there for a long time. You know when you say, it's just on the tip of my tongue. That's been stuck on the tip of my tongue for 30 years. Once upon a time, teachers were actors. And I needed to remember. So, may the kindest of words always find you.